Bubba Wallace steals the show and takes himself out of the playoff bubble talk by winning the Brickyard 400 in 2025 as an open team. I only just realized that as I was going to press the record button. That is kind of crazy to think about. Lots of tire debacles and lots of things to talk about post-Indianapolis. Let's get into it. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new race review video here today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we get to review the 2025 Brickyard 400. It was a, how do I describe it? Intriguing race is a way to put it. I mean, lots of different strategies throughout the field, and I mean, the first half of this race, I was pretty damn bored. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it definitely had its high and low moments. The further you got, the better it got, really. But let's talk all about the Brickyard 400. Chase Briscoe led him to the green from pole position, and I mean, yeah, the first stage was pretty much all of Chase Briscoe. I mean, it was almost kind of like watching a super speedway race. Fuel saving was a very key name of the game today. There were some very close incidents throughout the day, particularly with Christopher Bell. He did end up hooking Zane Smith on that first attempt at an overtime, and I mean, it was an accident, but Larson blocked him into the three of Austin Dillon. Like, Christopher Bell had himself in a few incidents today. I mean, the Toyotas had a lot of speed too, but Bell just didn't seem to have speed. I don't know what was going on with Bell, to be honest. Chastain had a hell of a crash early in stage one. He was entering the corner. He tried to sneak underneath the 11 of Hamlin, and Michael McDowell was right behind him, and he had to deal with a big checkup. It was a racing incident. It happens, especially at a track like Indy, where momentum is such a key factor. Especially, you can only pass in turns 1 and turns 3. If you don't do that, the only way you're going to get around somebody is if they miss an overtake, lose all their momentum, and you're able to sneak by them if they don't come down and block you, or if they don't Austin Hill your ass. But yeah, what do I even say? Like, that's just racing. I mean, the 71 gets into the one. Well, it's unfortunate for Chastain. The Trackhouse cars had top 15 speed today. Suarez and Van Gisbergen were both running in the top 20, top 15 at points today. I mean, they didn't have phenomenal speed, but I'm sure Chastain would have been the class of that field like he usually is when it comes to his Trackhouse racing teams. Unfortunate for Chastain, but I guess Michael McDowell likes the watermelon car, not the lemon lime car or whatever, but is what it is. It happens. There were some varying strategies. I mean, the Penske cars really tried a different strategy than everybody else on that caution, because it was Cindric, Logano, and Berry? Yeah, Cindric, Logano, and Berry, who all stayed out. And how do I say, everybody else pitted under that caution, and then they had to pit with like 5 to go in the stage or something like that. Essentially, they were just trying to extend their fuel runs as much as they could. That didn't work too well for Cindric. We'll talk about that later. But Chase Briscoe did win the first stage. The Indiana native takes the pole and stage 1. Even got a shout out from former Vice President Mike Pence, which I thought was really cool. But, I mean, Mike Pence is from Indiana, so it's understandable. Yeah. Tire debacles, man. Where do I even start with this? How many tire problems did we see today? Michael McDowell, Cole Custer, he had a tire failure in stage 2. Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, and now I'm thinking about it, Carson Hocevar did the whole first half of the race on one. He never changed left side tires for the whole first half of the race. How did he survive? I mean, I know the failures are mostly right, but damn. Cindric had a problem when he was in the lead. Cycling through pit stops. Some guys were trying different strategies to get off kilter with the rain, in case it came, but Cindric blew a right front. Eric Jones actually had a lug nut come loose. They just couldn't get it on the 43 good enough, and he pile drive the outside wall. That was a rough hit for the 43 of Eric Jones. I was watching that in-car camera. It was pretty much going boom, just straight out like that, and it's like, yeah, that is a rough hit for the 43 team. And oh, I didn't even notice this. Blaney pitted while pit road was closed. I think I was flipping laundry when that happened. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know this happened. I'm just looking at NASCAR's X account. I remembered coming up. I'm like, where did Blaney go? He must have just got shuffled back on pit stops. Now he came in and pitted while pit road was closed. That's not a great move for. Is Jonathan Hassler still the crew chief of Blaney's? I believe so. I'm not too sharp on the crew chiefs these days, but there's Briscoe getting shuffled out on a restart. There's Joey Logano's tire failure. Yeah, man, that final stage, I mean, it was 60 laps. I mean, some guys were on different strategies, but around 40 to 30 to go was when everybody started to pit and kind of make their own bed. They almost wanted to make their own strategy for themselves, and I mean, some guys came earlier, some guys came later. The later you pit, the earlier... Sorry, how do I say it? The later you pitted, the more chance you had at making it. I can't remember what lap Bubba Wallace pitted on. I think it was 41 to go. You can probably make it 45 laps max on a fuel run, and that's if your tank is, like, completely full. So, honestly, the 23 team did a really good job of keeping that car out there, but like, it was a really interesting turn of events because the way that strategy worked out, it was Logano, Bubba, Reddick, Larson, Byron, Hamlin, I think is how it went, something like that. Logano blew a tire leading that strategy. Yeah, his right rear just completely blew up. He didn't have power on pit road for a bit. Then the 23 of Bubba Wallace assumed the lead the first time he had the lead all day. I gotta shout out one of the guys in my sportsbook account comments. My man told me yesterday that Bubba Wallace was gonna win, so I gotta give fair props to you, my man. But we'll talk about that more shortly. Bubba Wallace was in control. He had a 5 to 6 second lead on Kyle Larson. I mean, he was saving fuel, and so I get it. Like, you're gonna lose time doing that. But with 6 to go, the rain comes out. I had friends who sat in turn 1, and they legitimately told me it did not start raining till about 2 laps after they threw that caution. So they very easily could have made it to the end of that race. I mean, they probably knew it was coming and wanted to prepare. They didn't want to see anybody go into the wall in the meantime. So, that's life. That is life, you know? And the yellow flag was deployed. We had, what, a 45-minute rain delay? I just caught the end of the IndyCar race while that was all going on. And when I flip it back over, they're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It was overtime at the Brickyard. Honestly, I think Bubba Wallace got a really decent launch. So did Kyle Larson. It was Larson and Bubba side by side in the turn 1 and 2. And honestly, as they're going into turn 2, I literally thought to myself after watching the Xfinity race yesterday, if you wash up and don't lift, I can't blame you for it. Larson pretty much did the same thing to Justin Allgaier yesterday. He got loose a little bit though, so that's life. But Larson is the kind of guy who would do that kind of thing to you. So I honestly wouldn't blame Bubba if he pushed Larson up the track a little bit. But then we talk about that Christopher Bell incident. I mean, yeah, Bell was getting shuffled back the pack throughout that restart. And yeah, like, he just pretty much came down and hooked Zane Smith. I don't know if it was a miscommunication with the spotter or what, but yeah, the 38 definitely got the worst of that. He didn't deserve that. Ty Gibbs completely backed out of it, trying to avoid that wreck, trying to win him and his team $1 million. But yeah, Tyler Reddick, who pitted thinking, oh, there's no way this goes more than one overtime, gets pile drives into Zane Smith through it all. Logano's involved in the wreck. Jesse Love caught a piece of it. Just an unfortunate turn of events for everyone. And then on the second overtime restart, Bubba gets the jump Bubba gets clear, and I was like, if Kyle Larson doesn't pass him on turn 3 in the final lap, if Bubba Wallace don't run out of fuel or mess up one of these corners, he's got it in the bag. And sure enough, when he come out at turn 4, Bubba Wallace, who went into this race as an open car. I mean, I know technically he's allowed in through NASCAR's stupid rules of like, oh, the 2311 and front row cars are allowed in because if they miss the race, we might lose our lawsuit. So we're not gonna take them out. Oh my god. But how about that? 2311 and Bubba Wallace win the Brickyard 400. That is a great result for them. And yeah, man, that is actually a huge win for 2311. Their first win this season. And for a team that's involved in a massive legal lawsuit distraction behind the scenes, that is a massive, massive win for them. We'll talk more about the in-season tournament and all that stuff later on, but let's give Bubba Wallace his flowers, man. Bubba Wallace's first win in 100 races, his first win since Kansas in 2022 when he was driving the 45 car to help them out in the Owners' Championship. Bubba Wallace's first ever win in the regular season comes at the Brickyard. Career win number 3 for the 23 team. Yes, I know Bubba won the Daytona Duel earlier in the season, but that doesn't count. I actually bet on Bubba Wallace to win that race too. I just had a good feeling. My feelings were not as good, but I mean, I knew the Toyotas were going to be good. And sure enough, the 2311 car of Bubba Wallace is the one who put it in victory lane. Glad to see Bubba Wallace win, and yeah, shout out Bubba, man. Let's take a look at your results. Well, guys, finishing results time. Bubba Wallace, starting second on the grid, picks up his win in the Brickyard 400. 50 points for the 23 team, but he ain't got to worry about no points no more. My man has won his way into the playoffs. Shout out Bubba Wallace. Big win for the 23 team. Kyle Larson sitting P2. Good for him. I mean, he needed some redemption at Indy after what happened back in the month of May, but yeah, good for him, man. A P2 and a car he's used to driving, not too bad. Denny Hamlin, P3, not too shabby for him either. Close to his first Brickyard 400 win. It'll come for him one of these days. Ryan Preece, P4, man, that is a great result for Ryan Preece. Shame he's now like 50 points behind the cut line. Oh, RFK. You know what's a sad reality is RFK might have all 3 cars missing the playoffs if we have a new winner. Because Buescher's the car on the cut line now. I'm really only just thinking about that. That new winner could be Brad Keselowski at Daytona, though. But you think about it. Somebody may play a fluky-ass fuel strategy and maybe, I don't know, Carson Hocevar wins at Iowa. I doubt that's going to happen, but I was just looking at the results, and that was the first name that came to mind, so honestly, Carson Hocevar could sneak a win. If anybody could sneak a win, it would be Carson Hocevar. Ryan Preece, P4. Brad Keselowski, P5. I honestly, considering the pit strategy the 16 pulled, I did not expect them to pull that off. So yeah, good for them. Todd Gilliland, P6. Yeah, good for him. Shout out Todd. Like, he's a good fella. I honestly don't know how he pulled off a P6. I never seen him in the top 10 all day. But hey, good for him. Didn't see that. Ryan Blaney pulls off a P7, rebounding from that penalty. Another good result. Bell somehow ends up 8. Man, I don't know how he didn't wreck today, but hey, good for him. Alex Bowman, P9. Carson Hocevar, P10. Yeah, good results for those boys. Justin Haley, yeah, that's probably the best result the 7 teams had all season with a P11. And they have had a rough year. John Hunter Nemechek finishes P12. Honestly, the legacy cars looked really good yesterday. They should have came out of this weekend with more, in my opinion, but that is life sometimes. Did anybody else not see Chase Elliott today? I think he only made the TV once. Bro, what happened to Elliott today? He was just non-existent. Chris Buescher, P14. Austin Cindric, P15. William Byron, P16. Catherine Legg. God damn, how about it? Fair play to Catherine Legg, P17. Good for her, I mean, I know she's been around Indianapolis a couple times, but shoot, good for her. And by the way, William Byron ran out of fuel on the last lap. I'm surprised he came home 16th. Good for him, I guess. Yeah, it would have been interesting if this race went 1 or 2 more laps to see who ran out and who didn't. Briscoe, P18. He had to pit for fuel. That's unlucky for the 19 team. Shane Van Gisbergen, P19. Hey, a top 20 on an oval. Non-drafting track. I mean, I get it's kind of drafting, but not too bad for SVG. Cole Custer, P20. Ty Gibbs, winner of the in-season tournament after finishing 21st. Ty Dillon did end up 28. We'll talk more about the in-season tournament later, but Josh Berry, P22. Man, that guy deserved better. He had a great run today. I don't know if he had to pit for fuel or what, but he was one of the ones who pitted earlier on that last pit stop too, so kind of makes sense. AJ Allmendinger, he had a decent day today. He was up in the top 10 in the beginning of the runs mostly. Jesse Love, P24. Kyle Busch, P25. He was a big sufferer of a one checkup on the outside lane on one restart, where pretty much like half the outside lane had their nose caved in. And Kyle Busch was one of the worst of them, go figure. So P25 for KFB, Riley Herbst, P26, Daniel Suarez, Ty Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Michael McDowell, Zane Smith, Joey Logano, Noah Gregson, Josh Bilicki, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones, Cody Ware, Austin Dillon, and Ralph Chastain round out your results. Now, where do we go from here? I guess we talk about the playoff bubble now. I'll find that currently. Well, here's the only screenshot I could find of the playoff bubble currently. So as we know, Denny Hamlin, 4 wins, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, 3 wins, Byron, Blaney, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace adding himself to the winners list today after a big Brickyard 400 win, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, and Josh Berry, all with 1 win locking themselves in. So, Tyler Reddick, 14th, 138th to the good. He's still pretty much in the clear. If I were these two, though, I'd be starting to shiver a little bit. Because, you think about it, we go to Watkins Glen. This guy may pick up a win. We go to Daytona. This guy may pick up a win. This guy could win Watkins Glen, too. He could very well win Iowa. Ryan Preece could very well win Iowa. Michael McDowell could very well win Watkins Glen. Like, I'm trying to think, like, there's a lot of different things that could happen in these next 4 weeks. We're heading back to NBC Sports. I mean, I'll talk more about TNT in a bit, but this is how things currently shake up in terms of the playoff leaderboard currently. That could be interesting as time goes on. That could definitely be an interesting point of view. I mean, we've got Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond. He could win that. Austin Dillon could win again. Maybe the JGR setups come back. So, Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and Daytona. Those are 4 fairly decent wild card races. Let's be real. The most likely winner at Iowa is probably like a Ryan Blaney or Christopher Bell. Somebody like that. Maybe a Ryan Preece gets it, you never know. Watkins Glen. There's a lot of different people that can win that. But they all have to try and beat that guy in the 88 car. Good luck trying to do that. If something happens to him, hey, this guy could be in the catbird seat. He won Watkins Glen next year. You never know. Richmond was won by a guy 32nd in points last year. You never know. And Daytona was won by someone 33rd in points. You just never know. You just never know in the NASCAR playoffs. It's definitely not a format we all love, but it makes things interesting. I can't deny that one. It definitely makes things interesting. Yeah, let's talk about the in-season tournament now, but here's how things currently stand in the playoff leaderboard. Well, I might as well start off by showing you this graphic. Ty Gibbs does win the $1 million. And yeah, good for Ty Gibbs. I mean, it was very unlikely that Ty Dillon was going to win. I would have loved to seen Ty Dillon win, but oh well, is what it is. I mean, the fairy tale story may continue. Yeah, fair play Ty Gibbs. Just wanted to give him his moment, but now, let's talk about TNT and the future of the in-season tournament. Let's start with the in-season tournament. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I liked it. I really, 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 really liked it. I thought it was fun. I think it's a really cool, nitty, different thing to put in a month. Honestly, I would prefer it in, like, June or early July. Like, but, because I think when you hit mid-July, that's when the playoff talk really amps up a bit. So, if you put it in, like, June, I think it's a perfect recipe. Like, after the Coke 600, I think that's a really good spot for it, but honestly, it gets you thinking about different things. It helps you enjoy the sport on a different level. Like, as long as it ain't a playoff format or something stupid like that, I think it's a fun activity to have through the summer. It adds a twist into things. It gives guys who aren't typically in the main conversation for race wins a chance. Hey, oh, this guy who I need to beat is running 15th and I'm currently 19th. I guess I better go make up a few spots to go get ahead of him. Like, it did give us some good moments. I mean, if that shitstorm doesn't hit at Atlanta, this bracket could look a lot different. It really could. So I want to give TNT some props because I did enjoy the in-season tournament for that. But overall, let's grade TNT's broadcast performance now, because obviously it didn't start out too great. That Chicago street race was rough, but I gotta give them some credit for a whole new team who's never really worked on NASCAR before. New directors, new cameramen, new everything. They've improved. You could pretty much say, I thought Atlanta was decent, Chicago was the worst, but every race, they got better. They did get better. So, I gotta give them some credit. I mean, I think they should do some different tracks, though. Like, personally, what I would love to see happen is Daytona come back to 4th of July weekend, and Atlanta be the regular season finale. That would be what I would love personally. So, if you think about that, like, the bracket could have its second round at Daytona, and I don't know what race you put that end of June weekend. Let's say you put, I don't know, Pocono there. You could put Pocono there. You could put Michigan. That could be a fun start to the in-season tournament. And then you have similar tracks like, let's say, you could go... I'd prefer Sonoma to be earlier in the year, but if you put, like, I don't know. I keep thinking of, like, the Northeast tracks, but, like, Dover, let's say, and then go to maybe... What tracks are normally in the summer? I don't know. Maybe New Hampshire will be back there. I prefer New Hampshire to still be in the playoffs just because I'm a Northeast guy. I love New Hampshire. It's like the only track close to me within a 12-hour drive. The life of being a Canadian NASCAR fan. But, yeah, I don't know. There's just ways to improve it from here, and I hope they get a similar track set next year so that way they can show their improvements from year to year. But I think overall, the way we can look back at TNT is that it didn't start out too great, but they made things better. They showed improvement, and I think they deserve some more credit for that. So I'll give TNT some props, but let's get into your driver of the day, where we put this race on the Schuyler scale, and we'll hop on out of here. Well, for driver of the day, this is an interesting choice. I mean, there's definitely a few different options that you could give it to. Like I say, guys, it honestly probably would have been Bubba Wallace if he didn't win the race. But there's definitely a few options that you could choose. To be honest, I probably would have picked Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin's just had too much shine recently, so... And I like Denny, so it's probably surprising that I, of all people, say that. But I'm going to give a shout to Austin Cindric. I think Austin Cindric drove a really good race today. And, I mean... If he doesn't have that flat tire, I think a lot of things could have went better his way. He had a fast car. He was making good use of it. But sometimes some things just aren't meant to be. Am I bleeding from this? Oh, great. Now I gotta... Am I? Now it feels like I am. Oh, the struggles of having pimples. But yeah, I'm gonna give driver of the day to Austin Cindric. And yeah, let's put this race on the Schuyler scale. Well... To put this race on the Schuyler scale, I mean, the opening two stages of this race weren't phenomenal. This was a kind of a dull race to the beginning, but the ending made it better. I think the winner helps too. If Joey Logano wins this race is probably like a, I don't know, like a 60, 55%, I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a 70. I think a 70 is a fair score. If you like strategy and you like just the prestige of a racetrack, then like Indy's the race for you, man. I mean, a few buddies of mine were there. They invited me to come with, but unfortunately, with this friggin' knee and all that stuff, it kind of put a damper in the water into things. I would have loved to went to Indy, man, but it is what it is. And yeah, I get my surgery in like 12 days, I think it is now. Yeah, because it's the Friday after Iowa, to keep you guys in the know. But yeah, you guys won't see a video on it till like the end of August, because that's how I'm just grinding ahead on the videos, man, so I don't have to worry about videos too much when when I come out of being under the knife and stuff. I mean, it's more so the racing channel that'll be affected by it, like you guys watching this. If you like my F1 videos and stuff, I'm just trying to get way far ahead as possible, because it's probably going to be a hot damn minute before I can touch my damn pedal set again. But yeah, we'll take it all one day at a time, and we'll keep on rolling. We'll keep on rolling. But guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure to have your view once again on the channel. If you're a first-time viewer, make sure you like that. Or if you view the channel multiple times. If you're a first-time viewer, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn that notification on so you never miss a future video of mine. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and do your thing, guys. Follow all my social medias. Links are in the description down below for Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, X, all that fun stuff. I will catch you guys next time around, though. We will head to Iowa this time next week. We'll be back on NBC. Is it a night race? I don't even know if Iowa's a night race. Let me check the NASCAR.com app. I'm pretty sure it's like a 4 o'clock start. Yeah, 4:30 start for me, because I'm on goddamn Atlantic time. It sucks ass. But anyways, guys, I'll see you this time next week for Iowa. But until then, take care and pull